Okay, so we're back to our trusty 160 1100, and because we know that we're not going to kill injector bodies here, so what we're doing is we're going to continuously chase this nozzle up in size until we know that the injector body itself is going to stay nice and cool, because now we've got so much injector body mod that when we start cranking up on the pressure, the nozzle becomes a restriction and we're hurting parts. So 160 and 1100, we flatlined. We didn't gain anything that time. So we did run it at a couple of different pressure settings on the way up. Trust my handy dandy telephone. And so we were successful at 210 at 1,000, and we pumped 502. Why don't we leave that there?
I'm gonna recinch it.
Okay. 210 at 1,000. We used to be at 502. What?
I still think we're heating bodies up too fast.
So to prove to my point, though, we were at 502.
Yeah.
With pressure, we just gained 16 cc's, but at 160, we didn't gain jack all.
Yeah.
So we can run this nozzle again.
Yes.
10 more seconds, and if it goes to 525, we're going to get to a point where we quit killing bodies.
Yeah.
So let's pop that nozzle off, have James run it one more time. All right, so I'll go over and explain what I'm trying to say. Basically, my theory is here that when we crank up the pressure, we're pushing so much volume through that body that the nozzle becomes a restriction point. We're not seeing that restriction point at 160 at 1100, but at 205 at 1000, we're seeing, or excuse me, 210 MPa at 1000, we're seeing that become a restriction point. So he just dropped that injector body in there in the brake clean, and it was boiling. So hot, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me see this. Grab the sleeve. So there's brake clean boiling in the middle of that sleeve that was just holding that injector. So what's the flash point of brake clean? Higher than this. All right, so in order to handle them, you gotta cool them off a little bit. So we use brake clean because there's no rust involved with brake clean. It dries out really quickly, and we can handle them without being all slippery and slimy. So what Skylar's gonna do is he's gonna run this nozzle another 10 seconds in the hone. We're gonna run it again at 210 at 1000. We're gonna expect to see the CCs delivered go up again. Once we get to the point where that up doesn't happen, let's just say that we get to 530, 540 mm cubed and it flatlines, we know that the nozzle's not the restriction at 1000 at 210. But in order to get there, we've got to go there very slowly, so it's a process. James will run this for another 10 seconds. At this point, I don't even care what the volume of the nozzle is. I just know that the volume is going to go up, 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 up. When we finally get to where we have all the data, then we can measure the nozzle flow rate at that point. We can document it in the book. We can save that for later. And when somebody needs another set of injectors this big, we can go right to that page. We can use this for our baseline on that day, and we start this whole process over. So when you order a set of super metals or something this big, it does take a lot of time and a lot of effort to get the recipe correct. And you damn sure want to make sure that whoever you're working with is going to give you good data back. If they don't have any data logging, if they're not going to record data log with EFI Live or whatever aftermarket ECU, I'd rather not do the job with the person because we're guessing, and I can't really. It's a huge waste of time for us because I feel bad taking somebody's money that's not going to be successful using our parts. So I would just as soon not do the job with anybody that can't give me good data back. But in this case, you know, the guys are on the dyno. Milliken's there, he's tuning it. Fleece, both Chase and Braden are there. Little John's there. Derek Rose is there. So we're getting really good feedback. They're doing good testing, and everything's going exactly the way it's supposed to go. So it's just up to us to come up with a good recipe. We know that their injectors will be here tomorrow, providing the UPS doesn't go on strike. 2021, it could happen. So we just ran 516, 517. I bet it goes 524.
That's in there.
Think so?
Yeah.
You're not going to disagree?
I'm going to agree with you on this.
You're going to agree with me?
On this one, yeah.
Write that down. He's never agreed. He's usually wrong, but it's actually not true. So we're using some Lucas engine oil assembly lube inside the nozzle nut on the threads. So when the nozzle nut's coming down and it's clamping onto I'll pick that up in a minute. When the nozzle nut comes down, it clamps to the top of the nozzle. There's lube on that. So it's not, you know, if you've ever pulled a head stud dry, you see how herky-jerky they get. Well, nozzle nuts do the same thing. And we're pulling these to 50 foot-pounds, and we're making sure that the surface between the nozzle and the injector body, we're making sure that's good and clean. Because if you have any fluid trapped in there, it will get trapped in there. And then when the nozzle at big pressure, it tries to, you know, basically just kick itself free, and you end up with a leak there. '21, '22, '23, '24. It's a good thing you agreed with me.
I almost said 525, and I should have, because I would have been right.
525.1. So, as expected, nozzle comes off. We hone the nozzle a little bit harder. We're gaining. It's very important when you're working with your injector people that you let them know what kind of pressure you're going to be targeting for. Then the injector people can actually build you an injector that's going to work in that window of opportunity. So if this was something that was going to run around 160 to maybe 180, these nozzles are officially too big for that kind of pressure. They would not work. They'd be sloppy. They'd be messy. That's just all there is to it. So we need good data back in order to give you good parts and make the dream come true. Let's do it one more time. I bet it makes 531. Okay, so we just ran this again at the same setting as before. We went from 517 to 525, and so we gained. We ran the nozzle 10 more seconds.
More
We're
about the same.
losing.
Yeah.
So the nozzle is officially bigger than the body at this pressure at this point. So I say we turn it up 5 MPa.
And see if it makes it.
And if it doesn't die, then we can turn it up 5 more MPa.
Give it a second. I think it should make it. It'll make it. I think.
Come on, girl.
Wait till it. Oh, it made it. There you go. Oh my God.
That's a lot of volume. Come on, pump.
2 more seconds.
Holy shit.
Did you notice the injector's not steaming as much now, though?
About 155 degrees on the solenoid. Is it hotter?
I don't know, but it's steaming. It was steaming less.
I don't know, man. That looks hot. So we just pumped 545 mm cubed. So I said we go up a nozzle.
Where's our goal here?
To stretch out a big billet block.